Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot second since I last filmed, but if you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Heather. I am a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for about 7 years. Whoa. 7 years. It's a while. This is my channel where I talk about all kinds of cosplay related things and nerdy things, so if you like that kind of content, consider sticking around. But yeah, it's been a minute since I posted last. Apologize for that. Stuff happens, and with the current state of the world, it's kind of just like that sometimes. But anyway, I figured I would film a story time today because I've kind of been sitting on this story time for a while. It's one that I've kind of hesitated putting out there simply because for a while it did make me very uncomfortable. And I didn't know if I should tell it just because of the content of it, I guess. I don't really know why. I think it was just kind of a comfort thing for me, and I wasn't sure if it belonged on my channel, which I'm sure has some of you intrigued. It's just kind of one of those stories that I've been like, do I tell it? I don't know. We'll wait. So I've waited 2 years, essentially, until I felt comfortable enough to share the story with you. And after 8 months, I figured the best way to jump back into YouTube is a story time. I really like filming these videos because I just kind of get to share my con stories and talk about conventions with you guys, and you guys seem to really like hearing them and talking with me. I love when you guys comment down below your stories and talk about your experiences at cons, whether I've been to them or not. It's a really, really fun interaction, so feel free to leave your con stories down below, whether it's this con or from other cons where you've had similar experiences. In this case, I really hope you guys haven't had similar experiences. Ooh, but nonetheless, feel free to comment your stories. I love hearing them. So anyway, let's just jump into the story because this is there's a lot going on. So this was Katsucon 2020, so this happened right before the panoramic, which is what I'm going to be calling it. So Katsucon has always been a dream con of mine. If you don't know what Katsucon is, it's one of the biggest anime conventions in the US, I think. It's one of the most extravagant anime conventions in the US, in my opinion, because it's just huge. People bring huge costumes. A lot of really big cosplayers go to it, and you see some amazing, amazing stuff. And it's got some of the most beautiful photography venues. Like, I'm sure many of you have heard about the infamous gazebo. It is one of the most popular places to take photos because it is just a beautiful, beautiful piece. But anyway, I got to go in, I believe it was February of 2020, so this was right before the panoramic hit, basically, where it really hit the US. And when I got the opportunity to go, I was so excited. I basically jumped because I had a lot of friends going that year, and I was like, I have to go. Like, this is it. This is the year. I'm making it the year. So I went. I ended up staying in a room where I only really knew the one person pretty well. The rest of the people were just kind of strangers to me. I didn't know them very well, which I could see as a red flag, and probably not something I would do again, necessarily. So I didn't know these people too well, but the one person I was staying with knew the room leader, and she assured me that everything would be fine. Fast forward, it's Friday night of the con. I have just gotten out of cosplay and, you know, into comfy clothes because I'm planning on going over to my friend's room, who was like 2 floors down from us, to get help styling a wig because it was my Jiangcheng wig. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. It's been a while since I've said these names. Wei Ying's brother, basically. His wig, because it's an updo and I needed like 2 pairs of hands to help yank it up there. So my friend had offered to help me, and I said, sure, I'll drop by your room at some point, just let me know when you're there. I also want to mention that the person who was running this room had 2 rooms, so they had adjoining rooms. One was like the party room where a lot of like, you know, partying was happening and adult things were happening. And my room was the chill room. There were some like rules and restrictions because the people who agreed to stay in the chill room were more focused on cosplay and the con going aspect of it and less the party aspect of it. So it was just kind of like this, okay, like, we want our room to be chill, you know, no parties, anything like that. Like, we're just here for the con, essentially. I'm in my pajamas and comfy clothes. I just washed all my makeup off. I'm gathering my wig and stuff up. People in my room are leaving to go down to the con floor to go have some fun, get drinks, that kind of thing. One of our roommates is still there, and he had invited this girl into the room. So he'd come in with this girl, and everybody was kind of just talking about going out on the floor and hanging out. And we all assumed everybody was leaving the room. I had actually stolen somebody's key card off of the nightstand because I didn't have mine, and I was going to be the only person, like, alone, basically. Or, like, you know, not with someone else in my room, so I kind of just took that. That's an important key piece of information there. So I had a key card. We're all kind of milling around, taking off makeup, putting on makeup, that kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head out. So everyone was like, okay, see you later, whatever, just see ya, be safe, that kind of thing. And I left. I was under the complete assumption that everybody else was leaving the room because they all wanted to go, like, party, hang out, get drinks, that kind of thing. I go to my friend's room, we have a good time, we're all chatting, gossiping, talking about cosplay, doing wigs, cosplayer things, you know. And I'm kind of just, like, even though I had kind of had a weird experience up until this, because this is Friday, this is the second day, this is the second night, so this is very early in the con. I'm talking about, yeah, I've had some hiccups here and there, but I'm really having a good time, and I'm really, really stoked to be here, and I can't wait for Saturday, because Saturday is, like, the big day. Everyone who's ever been to a con knows that Saturday is the big day. It's when the most people are at the convention, because most people get weekends off anyway, and that kind of thing. We're doing the wig, and we get most of it done. We kind of call it a night. Everybody in that room starts going to bed. I leave. I go take the stairs up to my room because, like I said, we're only 2 floors up, so it doesn't make sense for me to take the elevator up, because Katsucon is elevator con. If you're gonna take the elevator, you kind of take your life in your hands and you wait 7 years for an elevator, so it just kind of becomes elevator con. So I go up to my room and I take out my key card, and I've got, like, so much crap in my hands too. Like, I have my wig and brushes and all that stuff. And I put the thing to the tap lock and I open the door. And if you've ever opened a hotel door, you probably know, like, when you put the key card on the thing, it makes like a beep sound and then unlocks it. And then you push the door open and it makes like they're loud, is what I'm trying to say. So the second I step through the threshold of this door, something is wrong. I feel it in my bones. Like, there is no other way to describe it other than I can feel something is off and wrong, and I'm like, weird. And then when it isn't until I'm, like, fully in, like I've stepped in and the door is closing behind me, that the smell hits me. And I will spare you the details of what specifically it smelled like, because I don't think anyone needs to know. And I hear the door closes, and hotel doors close loud. That is just how they are, especially if you're not guiding them. And I hear rustling, and I hear murmured, like, oh shit, you know, like that kind of stuff. And, like, it clicks in my brain, and I turn into the bathroom on the right. So how these hotel rooms kind of are laid out is like, so the doorway has a small hallway, and then like the wall kind of juts out a bit, and the bathroom is to the right. It's like right inside the door. Thank God for the wall, because if I had seen anything. So I'm in the bathroom, and I am kind of like in shock, because the realization is hitting me that these two people, this one guy who had brought this girl back to our room, are doing the deed, or were in the middle of doing the deed of some kind, because I wasn't going to find out, and didn't want to look that closely, in my room. They are occupied in my room, to say the least. And I'm sitting there like, you're kidding. Because we had made a joke earlier, me and another friend had made a joke about something like that earlier, and the fact that it was happening really, really, hit the weird notes, right? So I start texting my friend that I just came, like, from the room that I just come from, and I'm like, hey, they're doing it in my room. I don't know what to do. I'm just going, I don't know what to do. My friend calls me and goes, get over here now. Just come back to my room. You can stay here. Don't stay there. I was very, very frustrated at this point, because I had already had things happen that were very, like, inconveniencing and frustrating. So I was already kind of reaching my limit. The fact that, like, this was happening was just throwing me over the edge currently. And they are still rustling out there. The entire time that I had been texting my friend, I was probably in the room for a span of 4 minutes, at the absolute maximum. They are still rustling, like they're trying to pick up clothes and sheets. So I know at this point that they were pretty much fully engaged, and I don't know how to feel about that. So I immediately leave. I just walk right back out the door. I pick up my wig and my phone, and luckily I had my thank God I had brought, like, my charger with me, because that would have been... Thank God that Heather was thinking, like, I had something in my gut, you know? And I just go back to my friend's room. I get on the phone. This is the funniest part of the entire story for me. I get on the phone with my friend again, and I'm walking, and I am crying because I am angry at this point. Like, I'm just frustrated because all I wanted to do was go back to my room and fall asleep. That was it, because it's not like it's 11 o'clock at night. It was like 1 a.m. Close to 2 a.m. if I remember correctly. So it's really early in the morning, and I have to get up early. So I am exhausted from the day I just had, and now this is happening. I am beyond angry. So I'm walking in the hallway, angrily crying on the phone to my friend. And the funniest part about this is there is, at the end of the hall, right before the elevators, because it kind of goes into a nook where the elevators are, so there's a big wall next to the last hotel room. There is a cosplayer dressed as someone from My Hero standing outside the door, and I remember this so vividly. And he's kind of got the door propped open because I think he was waiting for someone, and he saw me, or they saw me, and they looked like they wanted to say something or help me in some way, but I must have looked so frightening in that moment, because they kind of just, you know, like, shifted backwards a little bit, like, because they looked like they wanted to come forward and go, hey, like, you okay? But kind of went backwards a little bit when they saw me, because I look angry, but there are tears streaming down my face. So, and I don't cry very often, so it really shows you how much, like, how frustrated I was. So I go to the elevators, which is a mistake. I end up waiting so long. I get to the room, they take me in graciously and let me sleep there. And I end up texting my friend that was staying in the room with me, and I say, hey, this is happening in the room. Just so you know, I'm fine. I'm just staying in someone else's room because I'm not comfortable. What I want to explain is there was an agreement for this room, and it wasn't his room. And that's why hotel rules are really, really important if you are hosting a hotel room for people. That you have rules to make everyone comfortable. He didn't say a single word to any of us that this was his plan, that he was going to bring somebody back to the room to do this. He also, the bed that they were on was not his. He was not sleeping in that bed. He was sleeping on the floor, and somebody else was sleeping in that bed. Which made me feel like, if he's just doing that on this bed, then what's to stop him from going on our bed and doing this? Like, what if that had happened? Like, it's just kind of disrespectful that he didn't say, because he had told all of us that they were going to leave the room. And we were like, cool. You know, whatever, because we didn't know this girl either, so we were just kind of like... So he was like, yeah, we're gonna leave, we're gonna go down and do stuff, and then whatever. But he didn't. So we were all very uncomfortable. And when I told the other roommates, they were also very uncomfortable with this situation because A, it wasn't his bed, so they had to call someone up to change the sheets. The next morning, the bag was still there. I went in to get my makeup to bring back to the room because I was really not comfortable at that point. I felt very awkward. I felt very embarrassed, and I just did not feel comfortable. Especially as an ace person too, like that is a lot. But, and the moral of this story is if you are staying in a hotel room and you plan on doing any kind of adult activity, please let everyone else in your room know or ask permission, because you never know who's gonna walk in on you or who's going to have to deal with the aftermath, basically. The worst they can say is no, and if it's a no, please respect that. That's really all I can say. Please be respectful to your roommates. Please. It's very important that you do so. So everybody can have a good time. But yeah, that's basically the story time of me walking in on somebody doing it in my own hotel room. I still can't believe that that happened to this day. I think, I thank the gods every day for, me not actually physically seeing anything, because I might have been scarred from that. I might not have recovered if I saw that unexpectedly. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed today's horror story. I can laugh about it now because it happened 2 years ago and I've kind of gotten over it. I've been like, whatever. It happened. It makes a great story. It makes one of those really shocking stories. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you like this kind of content. I'm trying to put out videos more regularly. So please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram if you want to go check out some of my photos. I'm also streaming on Twitch now every once in a while, so if you want to come hang out with me and talk about con stories live, I do have that. That'll be linked below as well. All of my socials will be linked below. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If any of you are going to cons soon, please stay safe and keep everybody else safe around you as well. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.